Hey guys, it's Mark from Migraine Professional. I used to suffer from migraines and headaches until about 5 years ago when I figured out how to beat them, and I've been migraine free ever since. Now I teach other people how to do the same, and in this video we're going to be talking about anxiety and migraines, how they're connected, what we can do about them, what we can actually do about them, and how we can kind of reframe what is going on. So, they're interconnected. Anxiety and migraines go together. They cause each other. Migraines can cause anxiety. Anxiety can cause migraines. And so it's important to understand that that's just kind of the hand that we're dealt. They come together, but there's a lot that can be done for both of them. We're going to discuss some of the things that we can do. So migraines, and really with any chronic pain condition, especially one that flares like migraines, it's no wonder that we'll get anxiety. We're anxious about our job, we're anxious about our family, we're anxious about what our friends think, we're anxious about the next time that the migraine is going to hit, we're anxious about our bills, about paying for our medications, we're anxious about all of these different things because migraines are such a debilitating chronic pain condition. And then on the other hand, with anxiety is a condition where we get wound up. There are these, it is almost like there's these future things, we project ourselves into the future, and because of this, there are all of these future projections that wind us up. They put us into that fear state, that fight, flight, and fear mode, and it winds us up. It gets our body going. Our body is there to help us and support us and help us get through that anxiety. But when there's nothing actually happening, when there's no movement, then that anxiety just sits with us and it brings up our trigger levels, and it adds up and it adds up and it adds up with our hormone imbalances and our gut dysfunction and whatever sleep we've lost and whatever else is adding onto our trigger levels, and it throws us over that threshold, and then we trigger a migraine. And so they really come together and they're interconnected. And the way I want to kind of begin by reframing anxiety is to understand that your present, then your movement, and then your future. So, like I talked about before, anxiety, it has a lot to do with the future and what is happening in the future, worries about the future, but it is because we don't feel like we can handle it in the present. We don't feel like we have the resources, the energy, the money, the whatever it is. We don't have what we need. We don't feel like enough to deal with what is happening in the future. And so we are missing this movement because it is almost as if, in a sense, we will never have everything we need to be absolutely perfect to deal with everything. But if we are moving, if we are progressing toward it, if we are taking one step at a time, then the future isn't so scary. It's not a big thing. It is a bunch of little tiny steps. So we want to make sure, first of all, we're dealing with our present. Now, present has a lot to do with our past. We want to deal with the root cause, and oftentimes with anxiety, it's trauma, it's early childhood upbringing. And this is kind of set up our nervous system to be really high strung. It set us up to be a perfectionist, to try really hard, to really value other people's opinions of us. All of these little things that kind of add up to our lack of self-confidence in our own ability to kind of deal with that future, those future occurrences. But we want to make sure we're dealing with these. If we need, we're going to a trauma release therapist, and we're gonna kind of dealing with that trauma, dealing with that root cause of what is going on. So we want to deal with the present. So in the present, simple things we can do in the present to kind of to get ourselves feeling better, to hone ourselves, to tune into our bodies, because we always have to make sure we tune into our bodies and we start to break down that tension that builds from that anxiety. So simple things like magnesium. Magnesium either topically or orally or through an Epsom salt bath. That's an amazing way to relieve stress. or using like mindfulness and meditation to help you tune into your body, to help you listen to what's going on, to help you clear up all of those thoughts that are going around in your head but aren't being resolved because we're constantly going out and we're doing things physically but not necessarily processing mentally and emotionally. So mindfulness and meditation, and then journaling. Journaling is a big part. So journaling, the way I always like to kind of explain journaling is that you want to journal for your past, you want to journal for your present, you want to journal for your future. So for your past, you want to reframe the way you think of yourself, the way you think of the people around you, the way you think of your past. You always want to change it because your past, it is a memory that you hold. And so every time you journal, you have the ability to change that. You have the ability to change how you view that past. So it's not the perception that you have of your past, that is your perception and your emotional response to it. But you can change that. You can reframe that. You can put a different spin on it. So slowly starting to take those past experiences and changing them, making them different, putting a positive spin on them, seeing what benefit you got from them, seeing how it has benefited the present you, how you can take from that and move forward. And then your present, you want to assess where you are, what resources you have, what you can do, what you want to do, all of the things that are going on in your present, and organize them, clear them up, make them simple and concise, and clear up any confusion that you have about who you are and what you want, what you're doing. And then you have your future, and that's kind of creating creating what you want, your dreams, your goals, whatever it is that is creating that anxiety, whatever those fears are that are creating that anxiety, that you're kind of projecting yourself into that future, you want to get very clear around it. You want to get clear around it. You want to write it down. Writing is one of the most powerful and therapeutic things that you can do for your mental, emotional, and physical health. It's very, very powerful. You want to take it, you want to break down what it is, and then you want to chop it up. You want to chop up those future problems. You want to chop it up into what you can actionably do, what resources you have, who can help you, and how you can kind of make that situation better. You want to reframe it. Again, you're changing the way your perspective on what is going on so that you don't immediately go to that stressed up, that tense, that anxious sort of perception of it. And then you're helping to kind of bring down your trigger levels, you're easing yourself out, you're chilling out. And then, of course, affirmations. So you want to constantly reaffirm yourself. You want to build that present self. You want to build your present self and your present perceptions of your ability to deal with future situations. You want to build that, and you can do that through affirmations like I can do it. I love myself. I connect to myself. I feel myself. Today is going to be a good day, and continue to build yourself and build your present self, who you are right here, right now, so that you can deal with the future. And then, of course, with both anxiety and migraines, you want to do simple things like working on your breathing, getting your breathing deeper so it's not up in your shoulders. You have stress receptors up in your shoulders, up in your neck. They're going to set off migraines. They're going to set off anxiety. You want to breathe deep. You want to breathe low. You want to notice whenever your breathing is starting to come up and bring it back down. Anxiety comes from really high breathing, and you want to make sure that you're bringing that down. You're slowing down your breaths. You're getting deep breaths, slow breaths, and you're working through it that way. So let me know in the comments below, how do you deal with your anxiety? Let me know. What do you do? Is it something physical you do? Is it a mental or emotional trick you do? Do you have a stress ball or a method of journaling that works for you? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks. Hey, it's Mark from migraineprofessional.com. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe in the bottom left corner. And if you want to learn more about migraines and headaches than you've ever known before, and understand what causes them, what creates them, and what you can do about them, make sure to go to migraineprofessional.com. Thanks.